Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back. Hello, Leia. Welcome. I have a better camera this time. Woohoo! I might actually fix this really fast. There we go. Zoom it out a little bit. Look at all my stuff. Just look at all of this.
Nice. Very
Perfect timing.
Perfectly balanced.
Yeah. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about episode 3. I almost did what was it from Shrek? The pick number 3, me lord. Pick number 3. Okay. We're going to be talking about episode 3 of Ahsoka. Woo woo. Probably a bit of a shorter stream today because the episode itself was shorter. There's not as much to cover, I guess. But everything that will be covered will be awesome. But if you haven't watched the show, fair warning, spoilers ahead.
Get out. Yeah.
Go. Be
Why are
gone.
you even here?
Yeah. So fair warning. I'm gonna be pulling up my screen so I can talk
Cool.
about some stuff on that. So let me get that on
Cool deal.
here. See if it'll. There we go. Perfect. So this is Screen Rant. I went through like a couple different like articles. This one was the one that I kind of chose because it has a bunch of different like Easter eggs slash reveals slash like
Mm,
focal points, I guess, of the episode that were actually kind of what I wanted to talk about.
sure, sure.
I love that it says that this article contains spoilers. So yeah, if y'all haven't watched it, watch it.
Why are you even here?
Seriously. So first thing that we automatically see in the episode at the
Oh,
start
that's
is our queen Sabine training with
mm,
Yang. So this is kind of something that we get to see reminiscent of Luke when he did his lightsaber training. If you noticed
mhm.
that, how'd you feel about that?
But Lane, with the blast shields down, I can't even see. How am I supposed to fight? Yes, I loved this.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and before that, quick little side thing as well. I love the fact that they used when she was training traditional Bo-Katan,
Hmm.
and I've seen that, and my martial arts heart really melted because I was like, I know what you're doing, and the when she was talking about one of the moves of the lightsaber forms, one of them was named after famous samurai called Zaitoichi. Yeah, Zaitoichi, who was blind and was a blind samurai, and it was awesome and a
That's pretty
badass. So,
cool.
this little thing,
Oh,
this was
here,
actually cool.
actually, hold on. I see it right here. This little
They
spot.
stole it from me. We were talking about this the other day. When did this come out? They ripped us off
This came out 5 days ago.
5 days ago. Called it first, but yes,
So
yes, I love
yeah, there
it.
you go, right there.
My bad. Sorry about that.
I no, that's fine. I actually didn't read that until now. I kind of missed that. So that is very cool. Um
Yes.
I thought that was cool though to see that because I think the last time we saw something like that, like the training itself, would have been the sequels, if I remember right.
I don't get that reference, but
Just like the type of
probably.
training with the helmet and the
I,
lightsaber training and stuff.
mm,
Yeah, I think it was the sequels. Was the last time we saw something like that was the scene with Luke and Leia training, the flashback scene.
yeah.
I think.
Remember. Yeah, remember that. I
we don't
flashpointed some parts of stuff out of my.
we don't talk
I have
about
no idea what I have
it.
no idea what you're talking about, but you know what? I think they did something in Mandalorian actually. Uh,
Maybe,
or
unless I
no,
don't
God, it
know.
was Book of. No, it wasn't that. It could have been Man. It was one of
I
those.
I don't even remember, but regardless,
Jar
the
Jar.
it was a cool scene to watch. It was very funny because Hu Yang was just giving Sabine, poor Sabine, giving her crap. Poor Sabine didn't deserve it. Hello, JT. Yes, we are live. Padawannabe says a reference to the blind samurai
Saito
having
Ichi.
Donnie Yen in Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wanted to say that that is actually what I thought about was Rogue One when you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was very cool. I stand
Yes.
Donnie Yen, by the way. He's
Oh, of
phenomenal.
course. He's one of my favorite martial artists and does amazing films and is an amazing kind person. And don't get on his bad side because, good God, if you've watched Ip Man or any of the other fine films that that man has been in,
I watched Shanghai Nights literally like a week and a half ago.
he's so deadly and so nice. Thank God.
So great.
Oh, yes.
Oh yes, yes. Next little bit I wanted to point out
Mm-hmm.
our friends made a cameo.
Oh, yeah. Good old Mon Mothma.
Yeah, specifically her. I'm gonna be honest, it's really cool seeing Genevieve O'Reilly be like continuously doing these cameos in Star Wars because I just love her character.
Yes, the character and also the actress. I'm so happy she came back after
Hmm.
Revenge and everything like that. And because some people were like, I'm good. It's like, yeah, cool. And Andor, and then this, and then some other stuff that I'm assuming she'll be in. But great actress, great person. I sent her a
Season
D.
2 or
Yeah, I sent her like a DM on Instagram. I found her thing, and I was like, that was an awesome cameo. So whether you've seen that or not, it's like, good job, you're awesome. I wanted
I
to.
think that was actually one of my like kind of I liked this scene a lot, seeing like
Oh
Harris
yeah.
and Dula like
Oh
Hera was
yeah.
talking to them and
Oh yeah.
you know, Mon Mothma sitting there kind of in between everyone, like just the new kind of the neutral one there, like I believe her, but at the same time, like we have these people on one side opposing, these people on the other kind of like, you know, the Empire, you know, people work for us now. Nothing will happen, you know, they're loyal to us now. Little do you
Yeah. It,
know.
oh, come on. What the damn? No, there's nothing bad going on. Quit that. My God, where are you
Uh,
getting this from? And the fact that what Hera did, well, one, oh my God, I loved when Hera, I don't remember that bureaucrat's name. I feel like I should, but I don't. But I just remember when he
which
was like,
one? Him?
the guy who got his AWS chewed out, for
Here. This is
barking
him.
off. Yep, that
Yep.
guy. When he was like, we don't do that, and then Hera is like, were you in the war?
No. Me
Is
when I
that
was that was me when I was watching it because I was sitting there like looking at him and I'm like, I know I'm gonna yell at a TV screen, but shut up. Like
yeah,
it's kind of like but that's cool though. Like it's nice because you as a person are connecting with the show when you're feeling that way. You feel angry because you're like, this guy doesn't know. He doesn't know
right.
what they've been through.
Just like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah, and God, the way she, was like, "What are you waiting on? Wait, what are you waiting on, huh?" Both sides and to come out on top. It's like, oh man, and then, ah, yeah, carry on. I love that scene. I
Yeah.
really did love when she was like, dude, shut
Yeah,
up.
you could tell she was trying to stay calm for a minute, and then he kind of kept going and going and going, and she was like, "Okay, this guy needs to stop talking." And Mon Mothma has to kind of get in the middle, like, "Okay, we're gonna discuss this. We'll get back to you. We'll let you know."
Exactly. Oh man, I love it.
So speaking of Hera,
Oh, I got misty eyed at this scene. I'm not gonna lie.
we got a little moment. We got a nice little moment right here.
God, I got
Which
so
I
misty
actually
eyed.
didn't expect. I wasn't
No,
expecting that for a second.
I was not. When they reference him, they're like, oh, okay. Well, they just talked about his name. He's probably doing something with Chopper or something. Chopper doing the Murder Droid 5000 somewhere, and he's just joining along. But no. Whenever cut the corner and hear that, I'm like, oh, that's Kanan Jarrus's kid, and it was amazing. It hit all the right places and everything like that, and eyes are a little bit just I'm good and everything like that. Like, I want to be a Jedi. I'm like, now I'm just flashing back to Rebels and Kanan's death and that tribute that HFP did that I've watched 1,000 million times. I'm just like,
I want to
Ugh.
be like my dad.
Yeah. It was great. It was great seeing Jason Sindula, and they had a pretty good pick for the kid and everything like that. And just
Now, do you think we'll see potentially see him more in the episodes,
oh,
or do you think it's just a one-time cameo?
tough call or tough. I don't know. We may or may not. I'm happy we got this, but I would not be opposed to like down the line seeing more of that, because that character's bloodline will always hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah. Now I will say I was reading a thing because I don't know if they were trying to make Freddie Prince Jr. look bad about this per se because they it was
Mm,
someone doing a review saying, oh well, we're missing his character, and
yeah.
he was stating that he wasn't planning to return for
Yep.
any like future cameos and stuff. Um, and I was like, honestly, if he's already, if he's dead, then why bring him back anyways? And
Mm,
why, and
mm,
it's not really wrong of him to say, like, I'm not coming back because obviously my character is no longer there. Like,
yeah.
so I was reading that and I was kind of sitting there like, why are people giving him hate for this?
Yeah, he it was sometime last year whenever Bad Batch came out, and
Hmm.
um someone I- they may have did an interview with him. It was about something else, but I remember him saying he wasn't a fan of Kane returning in Bad Batch and everything like that. But he was just like, yeah, I was kind of done at that point. And I was like, oh, well, okay, and
I'm
everything
gonna
like
be
that.
honest, I because it was the first episode of season
Yep,
one,
yep. Order
and
66 ended.
he was a teenager, right?
Yeah,
To me, when I hear Freddie Prince Jr.'s voice over like a teenage version
Yeah,
of that,
he was very
it
young, and to hear
it
that
didn't
voice,
really make sense. It was kind of like everything else about episode 1 was great, but that one little like portion at the beginning where you're just hearing his voice over a much younger version of himself, it's kind of
yeah,
like I don't and I don't really blame him for being a little
no,
annoyed about that. And I know that he got really a lot of hate for that. Kind of, I don't know if
mm,
there was something else at the time either, but I really
yeah,
don't think he deserved it because that's kind of one of those things where I know he mentioned like with coming back for what was it, a voice line for the sequels. He said that he didn't really ever want to do that and he was kind of already doing a favor.
he
Um,
oh god, this is okay. Going back to before the pandy, before the dark times in the days. Um, I don't know, and again, you don't know what someone's going through in a day, but
right.
he went on a pretty good tangible thing of like went off on the interview and everything like that because sometimes a lot of stuff can like get in there and bleed in there and all that sort of stuff, but he really did go off on like one interview and everything like that, and it's pretty crazy watching, but he was just kind of furious at something. I was like, it's all right, man, it's okay. But yeah, so this it isn't the first time, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's kind of a back and forth thing where it's like you have to give credit to those roles because people looked up to you in a sense in that role, like people love that character.
Yeah.
And sit the thing that bothered me about what he said was more so the way he phrased it. He was basically like saying, uh he says, I'm too old for this.
Mm,
This is just a little bit too, I guess, like childish. I don't remember what he said,
yeah.
childish or young for me. And
Yeah.
I get where he's coming from because obviously he was mainly just doing the animated stuff. And
Mm,
while the animated stuff can be really targeted for anybody,
mm.
I get it. But at the same time, it's like you do have to give credit for those roles, that role you got to portray because that became a really beloved character in Star Wars.
Yeah,
And
you never know, man. It's you never know you accidentally who's watching you or you may actually inspire and everything. I loved Kanan Jarrus. He's still one of my favorite characters of all time and everything.
yeah,
It just parallels. I was very hesitant about Rebels at first when it first came out because I was still salty about what they did with EU and stuff. But um still am. But no, because I parallel him very much. It was very oddly eerie and familiar because the way that he treated Ezra is very, very, very similar to how I treated, you know, cautiously about like my nephew and training him. So when that happens, I could, you know, just, you know, art and everything like that, and I'm just like, oh man. So when he died, it was just one of my favorite characters. So yeah, but it'd be nice to like kind of, you know, take a step back from things, look at things like, dude, yeah, you might have helped a lot of people. You never know, man.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to talk over
Uh,
you. Carry
no,
on.
you're fine. Next little bit we saw was this little thing about Sabine not being able to use the Force, which I thought was interesting because
Hmm.
I feel like this little scene right here is kind of what sets up and starts, going into the rest of the episode where all the action comes,
Hmm.
which is obviously them getting chased as per usual in Star Wars. um, but it also lets them actually have a conversation for once that, is a teaching moment for Sabine. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, this is saying that, this kind of mentions how it's a callback to Kanan, in Rebels, who said the exact same thing about her potential to use the Force. Hu Yang kind of was there also, like, she's useless.
Oh,
just,
David Tennant, love
just
you.
things Hu Yang says.
Yeah. Yeah, and about the whole thing and everything. I've gone because ever since then I was like, okay, and you know, because may as well there. Uh, if she does become, I mean, it's a tough, it's hard, it's very hard, double-edged sword. But I went back, rewatched certain stuff of the prequels of talking about how Qui-Gon talks about the midichlorians and how everybody has it. Then I went back, classic stuff, Obi-Wan, surrounds, penetrates, and binds the galaxy together and everything like that. So it's there in everybody. And
Count
even
Ahsoka, you just saying the Force resides in all living things.
they're still my stuff, dang it. Yep. But yeah, they're yeah, so I'm not opposed to it. Just as long as she doesn't get it like
Right,
that, as long as it
right.
takes time, and again, I wouldn't mind her being like a level if it happens. Again, I'm not there for that particular character. I'm there like for Ahsoka, side character. Cool, she gets it, awesome, whatever. But just as long as it's not really, 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 really powerful, she
Yeah.
like a Chirrut in way type thing, and just doing basic stuff. I'm cool.
Still an apprentice.
Yeah, still a lot like a I don't know. A lot of people like no. I was like, doesn't bother me. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, because, yeah, I mean, a lot of the time we see in the movies and the shows and stuff, there is always talk of, the Force, is. I think even Leia says it too, the Force is like with everyone, it's in all living things. So it's kind of the idea of, does that mean anyone can use the Force given the right kind of training and discipline?
Yeah, you have to like. Oh God, the comparison. All right. Yeah, because Anakin, most powerful dude ever. Hello there. Most powerful dude ever. Just raw talent and power and everything. And but same time, like where that goes. But still, he's just the chosen one. So he has this automatic, raw talent, power, and everything like that, opposed to Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was the most least person to have that, but he practiced and practiced and practiced and went through everything. And he was, an amazing duelist, amazing person, but like really humble about a lot of things and what makes so like it's a can of worms with like 1,000 million things that you go into, but just yeah, the force is like with everybody, whether they, you know, think about it, not even like regular think like even like possibly Han Solo. Why is he such a good pilot? Maybe he's going through stuff like just little small things, man. Little small things.
Yeah.
Don't tend to think about, but yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I'm not opposed to her being
Yeah,
able to do it at some point. I
yeah,
like that with this episode, they were very brief about it.
yeah.
Just kind of that scene, we get them talking about it. She's like, just keep practicing. It'll
Hmm.
come with time. And
Hmm.
as soon as they have that talk, we go from that to immediately going into, they're being chased. And that's another teaching moment for her. Um,
Hmm.
so I like that they're kind of taking their time with this. I'm hoping, maybe I want to say not next episode because I feel like that would be too soon.
Yeah.
But I really think it just depends on the runtime of these episodes, which is kind of something I wanted to point out about this
Sure.
one because this one was a significantly shorter episode than the first two.
Hmm.
So I'm really hoping that that's not how it's going to be with the rest of them,
Hmm.
especially if they do want to be able to potentially explore her getting to use the Force at some point, even if it's just like a tiny little thing.
Yeah.
So
Ditto. Ditto, man. Exactly.
now, this is one thing I did want to point out that did bug me a little bit, and
Yeah.
it's this scene right here.
Ahsoka proves Star Wars is no. Oh wait.
It,
Ahsoka proves she's still one of the best skill jet. Well, she was trained by the chosen one herself,
oh, yes.
and so I particularly loved this scene.
Okay.
Um, I because it's a callback to Clone Wars and her and Anakin because they did this. I
I knew it. I
season
remembered there
yeah,
wasn't it an episode in the first season that
there
where
were
it's like
two.
they went to go on a rescue mission. Like
There
they
were
literally went behind Obi-Wan's back to go rescue him. I remember that episode
yep.
specifically. That's not what bothers me. It's more so just a nitpicky little thing on the CGI of it. Um
Mm,
just because when she was doing kind of the flips and like the like actual like movement and stuff, it
yeah.
did look a little odd. I know they're in space, so I get it, but it just for me it was a little bit hard to watch. Maybe it was my TV, I don't know. My TV is not, my TV anymore.
Rest in peace,
um
another one.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was just something about the CGI. Again, it's just a really nitpicky little thing. Other than that, I did actually understand that reference,
Hmm.
like that whole callback, because that is probably one of the like first episodes that was just kind of like in my head, like, oh my god, this is season 1 of Clone Wars.
Yeah, they did. She did this like two times. Her and Anakin did one, and then uh, I think it was Master Plo Koon was doing
Hmm.
something in a much later season and being
Hmm.
assisted, and then she had that suit, and then was jumping on a I don't know the name of the. It's what will eventually become the AT-AT Walker, but it was on like a ship, and she
Yeah.
was on that fighting and everything in space and everything because they were shooting it. I think it was Admiral Trench. Um, so when
Yes,
I
I
seen
believe
this, I
so.
was just like, "Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
right!"
Yeah,
Um,
like when I saw her walk out and I saw the suit, I was just thinking to myself, is this from the episode I think it is of Clone Wars?
mhm.
And I was like,
Yes.
is this season 1 callback to when her and
Yep.
Anakin just like decided to ignore every order
Mhm.
Obi-Wan gave and go on a rescue mission
Yes, it
in the
is.
middle of nowhere? Like I just immediately like thought that in my head and it was
You're
like
right.
I loved it. Like that's what I loved about that part. Like I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
my little minor inconvenience on the CGI is nothing that really takes away from the fact that season 1 Clone Wars callback. Come on.
No
You
worries
can't
at all, my friend.
you can't do wrong on that.
No.
You just can't. Now, we also are going into the fact that they figure out, Eye of Sion is a hyperspace ring. Someone on another article actually made the joke of calling it a Halo ring.
Yeah. Oh, I know, right? Um,
uh,
yeah. Funny enough, at first, which I mean, I guess it is. When they were entering the thing, and I was like, "Is that a Jedi starship hyperspace ring?" And because I was like, "Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, huh?" And then they got closer, and I was like, "Oh, it's okay. It's a little bigger." And
mhm.
but yeah, this was pretty nifty.
Now, I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Thrawn's ship, is it the Chimera?
Yeah, yes, the Chimera.
Okay, yeah.
Yep,
I know, I just want to make sure, like, because I'm like, okay, is the H like there? Do I say it like that or something?
you're right.
Uh, Now that I thought was cool. It mentions that it might be capable of bringing back a large ship. So it mentions his ship because he disappeared with it. So I thought
Good.
that was neat. I was like, Thrawn, where are you,
Mhm.
Thrawn? You gonna make your arrival yet?
Yeah, either that or they're gonna put a space well in there and send it off in somewhere.
I don't know.
No.
Do you think we'll see something happen with the Eye of Sion in the next episode, or do you think they're gonna drag it
Um,
out until like maybe the last 2 episodes? Because Thrawn, is it Lars Mikkelsen,
yes.
is listed for what, 2 episodes, I believe. So
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
I'm gonna be honest. We might see him this next episode.
I wouldn't be surprised. Um,
It's either next episode or episode 5.
mhm. I would not be surprised in the least. Cause yeah, he a very big character. So I would not put it past, maybe that or I don't know. It's really tough to call because how do you go and rescue or get someone like that from someone who got yanked away by space whales? Yeah. So
We're gonna talk
yeah.
about those in a minute too.
Okay. So it's good.
um, but yeah, I'm interested to see what this is gonna look like when, hopefully by next episode. Because when they were showing it in this episode, how like Ahsoka like started flying really close to it, and they were kind of like going through it. I gotta be
Mhm.
honest, it looked pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh
I
God,
thought
yeah.
that was really cool. I was like, oh god, that freaking ring is huge.
Right.
But that was kind of an interesting thing to note was, what if we see them bring, is it just his ship that's gone, or could there possibly be other ships that are gone? Or
Hmm.
who
Yeah.
knows?
I don't know. I like how they turned it into like a little space station basically. That was pretty nifty.
That too. I thought that was funny. I just thought it was cool that she's like, Morgan Elsbeth was like, telling Shin to like back off basically. And she's like,
Mm.
don't worry, I'll take care of him. And they had the cannon, or she had the cannon. And then, I don't know. It's kind of funny to see that Shin and Morgan are bickering so much.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm wondering if that could possibly, I don't know, like affect anything. Will we see something happen between them, or
Yep. It's pretty nifty. We'll
the
see.
Empire ain't gonna stay together for long if y'all keep fighting?
Yeah. Right.
Thrawn's gonna come in like the father figure of them all, like, quit your bickering, this is
Yeah.
what they want us to do.
Yeah. You slowly start to hear Kevin Kiner's piano theme and everything that he had in Clone Wars or Clone Wars Rebels and stuff like that. And you're just like, well, you see his
Oh
glowing red eyes and stuff. And you're just like, oh,
yes, I'm very interested to see what he's gonna look like, how they did that. So Can't wait. Much excited. Now, speaking of space whales,
Yeah.
um, this it was funny because my boyfriend pointed this out to me in the show first. It was and he was kind of proud of himself on it because he was like, "Oh my god, it's something I actually know." So it was funny, but I was just like space whales. So yes, during their pursuit of Ahsoka and Sabine, we see them go through a pod of star whales known as Purgle. Hu Yang also confirmed the Star Wars theory that ancient hyperspace routes leading to other galaxies were discovered long ago by following the migration paths of these creatures. And of course, we got to bring up Ezra
Yeah. Yeah.
using them to transport himself and Thrawn seemingly to the extragalactic world known as Peridia.
Pretty.
Peridia. I just think I'm saying Peridi.
Yeah, right.
Purdy.
That's
um,
crazy thing.
I actually thought this was one of my favorite scenes. Watching them like fly through and seeing those just kind of floating literally in space. Um, I don't know why, but I thought it was the neatest thing ever. And I'm gonna be honest, out of like all the chase sequences that I've seen in Star Wars, that was probably the coolest one I've seen because of that. I
Yeah,
loved it.
I love. Yeah, oh, same here. It was really nifty because one live action Purgle Space Whales, whatever you want to call them, is I didn't everything going on and everything. I didn't expect it. I should have, but so whenever that happens, I had a once upon a time in Hollywood moment,
Hmm.
where oh God, I can't remember his name in it. Leonardo DiCaprio, whenever he sees the hippies outside, bunch of
Hmm.
goddamn hippies. Except that it was the same thing at that, except for me, and I said whales. So I was in like,
Space
oh,
whales.
I was like, my God, Dave Filoni, you brilliant bastard, you did it. And
I think it's
so
interesting.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, 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 you go ahead, my friend.
I was gonna say I think it's interesting that Dave Filoni. It seems like he's doing a lot of like inspiration from just like space astrology. Like obviously it's Star Wars, but
Mhm.
doing when you look at the outro of the show with the credits and stuff and the music and kind of like what it's doing, like the map and stuff, the star map kind of stuff, and then it seems like there's a lot of just astrology stuff like kind of inspired in this, and I find it really neat.
There we go. There we go, guys. Sorry about that.
You're good, you're good.
I had to check my phone for something. Anyway, sorry about that. Carry on.
Oh no, you're good. That was it. I was just saying I think that's really neat that they were doing that. Like just it seems like he's doing that.
Mhm. Yeah, we shall see. I mean, everybody's favorite chiss always has a good backup. Um,
So let me see. This is what I was mentioning, by the way. This whole tensions thing, because they both couldn't take out Ahsoka and Sabine.
yeah, yeah, you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
I thought it was funny because like Morgan's like they have the space cannon whatever shoot at the ship, and she's like, did I get them, kind of like, did I get them? And Shin's just kind of like, I'll finish it or I'll take care of it or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know, they're just like both like having a competition to see who can get them. I don't know why, it was just funny.
Yeah. It was freaking hilarious, amazing, and awesome at the same time. It's like, got them, and then like they're destroyed, right? And then that little droid on like the side and everything. It's like their ship is gone. Turns her head slightly. This like that's not a confirmation, and then yeah, Shin comes in and just this is like, I'll take care of it. And plus, really dig Shin's prequel era um, thing that she has on her helmet for like communications and stuff like that.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Kind of similar to what Anakin had.
Yep. And
Mm-hmm. The little
we all
headset.
zoned in on that where it's like that. But yeah, their little back and forth banter and everything like that is very nifty. Very
Yeah.
cool.
It kind of makes me wonder, like, what, kind of like I was saying, what could happen if that continues,
Mm-hmm.
and what would happen if it does when Thrawn is there? Like, who do you think he would side with in that instance? Or, someone's gonna, like, it's kind of like someone's gonna get their butt handed to them, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's we shall see.
We shall.
I guess we will. Who knows these things? Ahsoka.
So
Yeah,
yeah, we see her
yeah,
her starfighter's pretty damaged, so they have to go and land.
yep. It was pretty bent up and out of shape and everything like that. I mean, then again, like the deflect, what was it? The deflector shields completely got dropped before. Well, what was it? Hugh Lang said before, like shut off and everything like that, which a callback to Empire and
Yeah.
everything like that. But yeah, it was that ship has had a lot of mileage. Now to
Hmm.
think about that, because if that's the same one from Clone Wars as well,
Is
then
it?
I think, don't quote me, but I know it was in Rebels, but I
Yeah.
swear I think that's the one that was in the Mortis arc. Um,
Maybe. I
they
mean,
they could
cause
have had 1,000, but still at the same time, I was just like,
well, I want to say
holy
that
shit.
it was still the same ship because in the first episode when Ahsoka goes to see Sabine or whatever,
Mm-hmm,
and Sabine goes onto the ship, and she remembers she's looking at the little like draw like writing and like the art and stuff that she drew
mm-hmm,
where she slept, but then she also was asking Ahsoka like where she lit like where she called home, and she's like she said the ship is fine for me or something like that, and Sabine was like still or something like that, like she was like you're still like here in the ship or something, so it seemed like it was a ship that they from Rebels, I think.
yeah, I'm not putting that past that. It's iconic shit, but yeah, it definitely seemed better days in this little moment.
Yeah, didn't exactly have a fun time getting shot at by a cannon.
Nah.
Ahsoka's probably thinking to herself, I'm coming for you next, Morgan.
Yeah, and we might even see that fight, may if not next episode, the episode after that, because she's still got to go through. Wow, a lot.
Do you think we'll see Morgan fight again with the
Honestly,
Beskar?
honestly, I hope so. I really
Because
do.
I really did like that in Mando season 2. I thought that was a really good episode.
I did too. It was one of my favorite episodes and stuff like that. Period. Point blank. Still one favorite because I love my Jap.
I think that was the moment we kind of all knew that something was going to happen with this becoming a show, because we see Ahsoka, and we once she sees Morgan, she's like, "Where's Grand Admiral
With
Thrawn?"
Thrawn, and we're all like, "What the
Yeah, we
fuck?"
just the like small little mention of his name. I literally freaked out watching that episode. Like, that's Thrawn. That is Thrawn.
Hmm.
Thrawn is gonna be back, y'all. That was like I didn't even need the Disney to confirm or anything. I just knew
Yeah,
in my heart. I knew Thrawn was gonna be showing up, and I think they planned that. So
good for them.
I
Yeah.
think I really am kind of believing that they did. Rebels is over, so they're like, let's bring in some live action stuff. We
Yeah.
need something for the fans.
Yeah. well, one that since what we found out now that the magistrate or I keep calling her that, where else is a night sister.
Hmm.
So that kind of makes a whole lot of sense. While you because like she's a human, how the hell is she keeping up with? Oh,
Hmm.
oh, okay, that makes sense.
Do you think
But
we'll see any more Night Sisters at some point?
I don't know. I mean, Marin's out there from Fallen Order again. Again, if people don't like what, it's like, why are you?
Witches of Dathomir.
Yeah, so they're notorious for kind of not staying dead. I mean, then again, a droid general did come in there and wreck a lot of stuff and everything like that. So I don't know. We may not. We may see.
General Kenobi.
Yeah, right. Who knows these things? I would personally, I would love if they had like one more like little thing because you know that the actress who plays her is the one of the adopt like one of the last descendant granddaughters of Bruce Lee, and that if you put something in that woman's hands,
She will
she's
destroy
deadly.
you.
She is deadly. But so
Lethal.
you add that into like the choreographing stuff of just the fight and just I would love to
Yeah.
see it. Plus, Rosario Dawson is amazing when it comes to doing stuff like that. She's want to learn more and more. Just yes and yes for me. Long story short, I'll keep going because I'm just like, yes, please, God.
Now, last little thing before we wrap up here. This is
Sure.
the end of the episode, and it is also a callback to Mando season 2.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until the second watch
Yeah.
around.
So, the final scene we see Balin Skull, he's sending a collection of troops and HK assassin droids. We're getting more of them. Holy moly.
Right.
Into the forest to hunt down Ahsoka and Sabine, who are hiding within. They're the same soldiers who were in service to Morgan Elsbeth, as seen in Mandalorian Season 2, in which Ahsoka made her live action debut on the planet Corvus and fought them.
Good
Which,
times.
yes. Now, it says this was the same episode that saw the Mandalorian Din Djarin help Ahsoka arrest Morgan after learning about the star map leading to Thrawn, the same relic Tano located in Ahsoka's premiere episode. So,
Hmm.
um, what I'm wondering too is, I mean, obviously he's sending him to go after Ahsoka and Sabine, but in the process of this, I mean, who knows? Or just in the process of Thrawn returning, do you think that
Hmm.
this could be kind of what leads into Dave Filoni's crossover movie? And do you think it's possible that this is going to be like almost similar to, I guess, Kenobi with I guess Inquisitors hunting down Jedi? Do you think this is going to be kind of a repeat of that where, you know, somehow, some way they might find out about Luke? Because I know Thrawn at this time would have also been looking for Luke.
Hmm. I don't. I don't know because I remember in Heir of the Empire, Thrawn knew about him for that, but I don't know. But then again, I wouldn't put past if he knows him now in this
Hmm.
in this canon and stuff like that. But yeah, to go back on that, oh my God, I because I kept looking, and I was like, distracted by Ray Stevenson's awesomeness, rest in peace. But second around, I was like, I've seen those guys, but oh my God, and yeah, so I don't know if I mean, look, here's if there's wolves involved, and then it'll possibly cross over because Dave Filoni is notorious for his love of wolves. But
Yeah.
I don't. I really don't know. I have no idea. Um, we shall see, I guess, as time goes on. But I'm not opposed to it at all.
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of my theory. When the more I watch this show, the more I think that, okay, I don't know if we're gonna get a season two, because it, not necessarily in a bad way, but more so
No,
Thrawn is a pretty big deal. and a
Just a
pretty
little bit.
yeah, pretty big deal. And it wouldn't phase me if Dave Filoni is sitting there at Disney and Lucasfilms going, "Hey, it's time for us to make this guy the new villain." And
Mhm.
these people get to fight him. We're at the point where Mandalorians are taking back their home planet. We have references of Sabine's past. She's a Mandalorian. Um, and it also kind of reminds me of the same episode with season 2 Mandalorian where Ahsoka goes, "A Mandalorian, a Jedi, they'll never see it
Never see it
coming."
coming.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a callback to that, and it almost makes me think, okay, at some point, they're bound to all probably meet up and get together, because we have Hera here now trying to warn you know the senators, saying, "Hey, Thrawn is coming back. Y'all might want to, warn the rest of the galaxy and like prepare yourselves,
Right.
so before it's too late." You know, and we see Luke and Boba Fett and Mandalorian a couple of times with Grogu, and he's building. He's starting to build the Jedi temple, so it's kind of like, I don't know. It's in a way making me think, maybe they did spend a bit more time than we actually like know planning this kind of stuff out.
It may
With
have been
the way
another
it's going.
reason why it still racks my brain whenever what was it? John Favreau said there was a time lapse of 2 years.
It was 2 years between season 3 of Mandalorian versus like where it started, because where it started takes
Mhm.
place 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and then we see at the end of season 2, I think it's season 2 to season 3, it's 2 years, because we see Grogu go off with Luke, and then eventually we see Mando go to visit Grogu and Luke in Book of Boba Fett, and Grogu goes back, and then in season 3 they're kind of off to explore and do whatever. So yeah, it's been about 2 years between the time that Grogu left and the time he comes back.
Okay. Yeah, because that racked my brain. I was like, "What are you doing? What the hell?" But you know
Yeah,
what? Now
so
it'll probably make a whole lot more sense now that given this and everything like that. Like, oh,
yeah, yeah. So I wish they kind of were, that would be something that I'd be a little bit nitpicky about too, is I wish they were a little bit more clear on the timeline of things, because it almost feels like they have to come out in interviews and kind of state these things like, okay,
yeah,
you can expect this, but it's not really something they explain in the show itself. Um but I mean, other than that, I'm really looking forward to the rest of Ahsoka. I think
oh my
so
god,
far the
yeah.
episodes have been really promising. Been I've been a little bit nitpicky about things, but not really that nitpicky. Everything that I've kind of pointed out of being like a con, quote unquote, has been either something with like CGI or just the runtime. Like, for
Mhm,
instance, episode 3, I wish was a little bit longer,
mhm,
because on Disney Plus it said it's 37 minutes, but that's not really like discounting the intro and outro, so it's more like 34 minutes, give or
yeah.
take. So in comparison to the first 2 episodes, it is a little bit short, but it doesn't really lack.
No.
They make sure to fill up all of that time with what is needed, because when I was watching the episode, it didn't like necessarily feel like 34 minutes at times. Like,
No.
it was just more so at the end. Once it ended, I was like, wow, that kind of went by so quickly in comparison to the other episodes. But when you watch it, it doesn't really feel like 34 minutes. So that's a
Yeah.
very small critique.
Yeah, right.
So, other than that, I've been really enjoying this show a lot. So, I'm excited to see Thrawn soon. I hope. We'll
I
see him when he shows up.
I think we will. Yeah. Also, other people who another God, Charlie, be careful what you say. Um, that I have 1,000% here for. Um, God, I can't wait. But yeah, the one Dave is directing, and then I think someone else is, and I think it's five, and then the other one. But like,
Charlie, you're hinting at stuff that I feel like
it's
I
very
know.
hard because all I can, yeah,
All we
yeah,
can
I
say
stay away
is
from leaks and spoilers. You know this. I do. I don't want anything to do that. I've been just like Kenobi. I've waited for that show, and I was like, you tell me anything, you trying to
you
spoil
can't
anything,
even say this was a
I will
leak or
kill you.
spoil though, because isn't this coming from the very person like that's affiliated with Star Wars?
There's a Denver. All I'll say is a Denver fan expo.
He spoke too much. He said too much to you.
Oh, I
He's
can't
It's
say. Yeah.
okay. It's okay. You know what? You know what? All I can say to y'all is expect to scream loudly and hope your neighbors don't hear you and think something's wrong.
Yeah.
Y'all might want to
Yeah.
stay away from the internet if you're not able to watch it the night it comes out. I would probably definitely say try to stay away until you have the time to watch it. Um, Other than that, I don't think there's anything else that needs to be covered other
Mm,
than a final question.
sure.
Uh, do you think Ezra is with Thrawn, or do you think he's the one in the he's Marak?
Man, that's a one that I've been thinking about because at first I didn't put too much thought into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just like, but then I was like, wait a minute. Even in Rebels, Ezra had like a little kind of pull to the dark, and I'm like, okay, crap. And then I was like, wait, he trained with Maul a little bit, crap, kind of, and
uh,
and he studied with that holocron, crap. And you're stuck out there for how many years with
been like
with everybody's?
several.
Oh God, I didn't know it
They've
was that
been
long.
Oh yeah, I mean that's perfect because doesn't it okay, because doesn't Rebels end around the time of Return of the Jedi too? Like isn't it
Yeah,
that
because when they're
timeline? So
doing,
yeah, because they
yep,
did so I remembered now because in episode 1 when they're revealing the mural or whatever, they said it had been 7 years since
yep,
they had Ezra had given his life on this very day or something. So yeah, it's been so they do actually start to kind of catch us up on the timeline. I am kind of glad that they mention it because Mandalorian didn't, and I was a little upset about that.
yeah,
So
right,
congrats to this show for actually making mention of that date. So that
yeah,
works.
definitely. And I mean, it would be a hell of a good, crazy, awesome twist if it
Mm-hmm.
was. Um, I'm still holding out for my boy who never ages. Just like a fast little thing, nothing too long or anything like that for being under the mask. I just know that something different about this Inquisitor. There's something different about him and
Yeah,
everything. Usually they don't last too long. Some of them, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Yeah, I remember that
it's
starting to go around where like, what about Ezra? And I was like, that would never. And I
yeah.
stopped and thought about. I was like, wait, he. Oh God.
It's something it was kind of like I pointed out with the last podcast last stream very reminiscent of Tron Legacy, you know, hidden behind a mask, doesn't really speak a lot. When they do, it's kind of a robotic voice, kind of like the
True.
yeah. I mean, it's very much giving off that kind of like that is someone I know kind of vibe. Like that has got to
Mhm.
be someone familiar. Because if it ends up not like being someone that we know, even if it's not Ezra, it could be just anybody that we might recognize from Star Wars, whether it be
Mhm.
animated or I don't even know. But I mean, just in comparison to, I guess, Riva, because that's the only person I can think of that would be an example, a recent example. When we
Mhm.
see her character in Kenobi, she, and the other, well, I guess, yeah, that's about it, because we see the Inquisitors in that.
Mhm.
They're all more, I guess, interactive. Um, we see them kind of talk more and appear more. We obviously see their faces and, kind of that. We see them interact overall in the show more. This character, we obviously are seeing him interact, but more so he's only fighting. He's not really talking. And this
Yeah.
episode is the first time we hear him talk, and he's like, "As you wish," to Shin. So that was cool.
We shall see.
We shall see.
Hmm. I
We
can't
shall
wait.
see.
God, I can't wait.
we maybe next episode, I don't know.
Man,
We'll
who
find
knew?
out. Find out in a few more days.
Right. Oh God,
But
this.
we've been streaming for an hour. We're gonna
Yeah.
call it. I think we've covered pretty much everything that needs to be covered.
Mhm.
Any last thoughts about this episode?
I'll definitely just say, it may have been short, but I very much still enjoyed it a lot.
I
Um,
agree.
I it doesn't make me mad, but I'm just like, dude, chill. Uh, but about it's like there wasn't much of this or that or so. I'm like, be grateful we even got a show like this. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Just I'm very happy. And plus, again, with Dave Filoni doing it, my God, the apprentice of George Lucas. Um, I'm happy with it. It was short, added more stuff into there. Again, seeing Sabine trained using a Bo-Katan, which I work I work with a lot. So seeing that and using certain stuff of everything, I was very happy with. Hu Yang, David Tennant, my favorite doctor from Doctor Who. You had me there. Um, really interesting going back and forth between Morgan Elsbeth and Shin,
Mm-hmm.
um, and what that's going to be. And then Ahsoka just pulling a badass move of just a Clone Wars callback and cartwheel flip and zoink, yachts a lot of them. So I have no complaints at all. I enjoyed the hell out of it. That's just me. I have spoken. Callback.
Something I wanted to point out too really fast that I
Sure.
actually really liked, before I forget, was just the whole like start of when they're being chased and they're getting chased by, I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to say TIE fighters because it wasn't TIE fighters, but it
No.
was other ships. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I don't remember the
Yeah. You're
ships,
right.
the kind of ships. But they were getting chased by those, and it was kind of just a nice like uh I guess another lesson that Sabine got to learn from Ahsoka, and Ahsoka got to learn from Sabine, and Huyang kind of points it out. It's like y'all have to work together and communicate because otherwise
Mhm.
y'all are gonna get killed. Because of course
Mhm.
Sabine was missing at first, and obviously she's a little rusty. She hasn't done anything of these fighting or anything in a while. So
Right.
she's having to kind of in the moment be good or else. But it was really interesting to see the interaction between her and Ahsoka on that because,
Yeah.
Hu Yang and Ahsoka are kind of like looking at each other, and Ahsoka's like, okay, tell me what you need and I will do it. But it's kind of a nice moment for her as a teacher to sit there and say, okay, we need to try a different approach versus okay, we're both being stubborn. Let's just call it that.
Yeah,
So
get in
I
the
like
back of the
that.
gun. Yeah, get in the back of the gunship. Just go do you, whatever. Got one. Great shot, kid. 1 in a million. Nice
It's
little comment.
also very reminiscent of previous Star Wars moments. Like for me, when I saw that in my head, I kind of thought of like Han Solo and Chewie in a way.
Yep.
And also again thinking of Anakin and Ahsoka fighting together. It's very like it's just a new phase of Jedi and apprentice or master and apprentice type kind of
Mhm.
deal. So it's very interesting to see that dynamic again.
Yeah, definitely. Flipping awesome. Flipping awesome, friend.
Oh yeah, we're enjoying the live action characters. We love seeing them here in this
Yeah.
space. Other than that, I think that's about it. Overall,
Cool.
I'd say this episode uh did really good.
It did indeed. Indeed. I definitely
So,
agree.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug in before we call it?
Uh, I still got that lightsaber. It is done. I did find out it is done. Lightsaber fight that I last year. I went to Myrtle Beach, and not a lot of people have done lightsaber fights and like little like fan type film and stuff like that, like
Mhm.
on the beach and stuff. And me and my buddy took advantage of that. He's a great fight choreographer and everything like that as well. And we beat the crap out of each other for a good solid. Well, we stayed there most of the night, but like from dawn, like dawn till night. So we shall see. Hey, bud. But we beat the crap out of each other. Um, and so it's being rendered right now and put in the special effect. I don't know how to do that. My buddy knows how to do that. That's not my forte, but that should be out within, I think he said maybe a week or two at best. So if you enjoy that stuff, stay tuned. A couple more interviews that I got. I think I said, yeah, Lauren Mary Kim hasn't come back from her uh like vacations, but yeah, I'm supposed to talk to her yet again, which amazing kind person and deadly as well. But that's about all I got, honestly, at the moment. My hands are kind of full at the moment.
No, you're good. Other than that, next Sunday, as usual, I'll be streaming again. We'll be talking about the next episode of Ahsoka. For anyone who wants to come on, I post all the StreamYard links in my Discord. I may have to see if this will work or not because I really don't know if my bot is working on StreamYards right now.
Skynet failing? Nah, that would never
No,
happen.
it's for some reason my bot, I have to update it because I updated it for
Uh,
Twitch, but I haven't updated it for YouTube. So it keeps sending
ah,
me emails saying it's like out of compliance or whatever. So I need to go on there and update that so I can like actually use like the commands.
mm-hmm.
Um but for anyone who ever wants to join, StreamYard links are always posted in my Discord and yeah, I think that's about it. We will
Yeah.
see you all on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Stay awesome.